When? Oh, welcome back. Like I said, I like Alabama to get the win on the road. Give me Nick Saban and the Tide to get the win over Texas A&M in College Station on Saturday.
Texas A&M has always given Alabama a tough game. This is not Johnny Manziel's Texas A&M team. Alabama rolls.
Next up, number 16, Virginia Tech, heading in to Alumni Stadium in Chestnut Hill to take on the Boston College Eagles. Give me the road Hokies by at least 10 points.
I think Virginia Tech's going to have a bit of a hangover after getting beat badly by Clemson, but I still think they get this win at Boston College.
Next up, for one of the bigger rivalries in college football, as Michigan State heads into Michigan Stadium in Ann Arbor to take on the Michigan Wolverines. And I have one word for you folks: revenge. Michigan gets the win by at least 10 points in the Big House after a disappointing loss last year to Michigan State.
This is two programs going in opposite directions. Michigan's on the way up, Michigan State's on the way down. Michigan wins this one big.
Next up, number 9 Wisconsin heading in to Memorial Stadium to take on 3-2 Nebraska. Give me Wisconsin to get the win over Nebraska in Lincoln.
Unfortunately, I think Wisconsin's going to win this game. I really hope Nebraska has a great season, so they stay away from our coach, Scott Frost.
Thank you.
But I still think Wisconsin's going to win this game.
Next up, number 11 Washington State heading in to Autzen Stadium and Eugene, Oregon to take on the Oregon Ducks. Luke Falk again looked very fucking good last week. I think he will do it once again this week. Washington State gets a win in Eugene on Saturday.
Finally, we disagree a second time. I think Washington State's going to have a hangover or come down from last week, and Oregon at home gets a win against Washington State.
Next up, number 25 UCF. Finally, we are back in the top 25. ESPN's finally giving us some respect. 8 o'clock tomorrow night, heading in to Nippert Stadium to take on the Cincinnati Bearcats. This is going to be a little bit of a slow game for UCF. I don't think we're going to get off to a fast start. It could be a little bit of a letdown, but I think UCF finds a way to win late in the game.
I agree. Cincinnati's down this year. UCF's up. I think UCF wins by at least 10.
Next up, Stanford heading in to Rice-Eccles Stadium to take on the Utah Utes in Salt Lake City. Even though I love what Bryce Love has done for Stanford this year, I'm going to take the home Utes over Stanford.
I agree. I think Utah at home is too good. They beat Stanford in this game, but it's close.
Next up, the Cavaliers heading in to Husky Stadium in Seattle to take on the Washington Huskies. Jake Brown has looked good again this year. He looked good last year. Give me the home Huskies over the Golden Bears on Saturday.
Huskies roll. I agree.
Yep. Next up, number 19, San Diego State heading into Sandboy Stadium, the same place where the Monster Dinner World Finals are in Las Vegas. Give me the road Aztecs over the UNLV Rebels.
It's been a tough time for Las Vegas, and our hearts go out for all the people that lost loved ones. I think it's going to be an emotional game, and I think unfortunately San Diego State's going to get in there and beat UNLV.
Now on to the NFL picks for the weekend. Going into after a tough loss last night for my Bucks. Tough game, but I think we'll get it back on track next week, hopefully against Arizona. But let's get into Sunday's games right now. First up, the most surprising team in the NFL, in my opinion, the 3-1 Buffalo Bills, heading into Paul Brown Stadium and Cincinnati to take on Andy Dalton and the Bengals. This is a very good Buffalo Bills team right now, so I will take Tyrod Taylor and the road Bills over the Bengals.
I think the Bills are actually going to come down from the high of last week. I think the Bengals are starting to trend upwards. I think the Bengals actually upset the Bills this week.
Next up, the 2-2 New York Jets head into First Energy Stadium to take on the 0-4 Cleveland Browns. The Jets are on a 2-game win streak. In my opinion, make it 3. The Jets get the win in Cleveland on Sunday by at least 10 points.
I agree. The Jets are playing much better than people expected, and they get the win at Cleveland.
Next up, the 3-1 Carolina Panthers head into Ford Field to take on the also 3-1 Detroit Lions. Give me the home Lions. Matthew Stafford's been looking good. Give me the Lions at home.
I think the Panthers are one of the weakest 3-1 teams in the league. I think the Lions get this win pretty easily.
Next up, for the most boring game of the week, in my opinion, the 0-4 San Francisco 49ers heading into Lucas Oil Stadium to take on the 1-3 Indianapolis Colts. Give me the former Gator prospect Jacoby Brissett and the Colts to get the win at home over the Niners.
I actually think the 49ers have been really close in the last few games. I think they go in and get the upset at the Colts and get their first win of the year.
Next up at Hard Rock Stadium, the 2-2 Tennessee Titans head in to take on Jay Cutler and the 1-2 Dolphins. The big question in this game is, will Marcus Mariota play? If he does, I think this game is going to be an absolute blowout. But if he doesn't play, I like the Titans to still win, but it's going to be close.
I think Mariota is probably not going to play, is my best guess. So I'm going to take the Dolphins to win at home.
Next up at MetLife Stadium, the battle of the two 0-4s is the Los Angeles Chargers heading to MetLife Stadium and take on the 0-4 New York Giants. 2 straight weeks the Giants have been heartbroken by a last-second field goal. I think this week they get up the schneid and they get the win over the Chargers.
Chargers going from west to east is tough to win. Both bad teams, but I'm going to take the home team in this one.
Next up in the Battle of the Birds, the 2-2 Arizona Cardinals heading in to Lincoln Financial Field to take on the 3-1 Eagles. Give me Carson Wentz and the home Eagles by at least 10 points.
Eagles are a surprise team this year. I think they're actually one of the 10 best teams in the NFL. Eagles win this ball game.
Next up at Heinz Field, the 2-2 Jacksonville Jaguars head into town to take on Big Ben and the 3-1 Steelers. I hate to do this, but I'm going to take the home Steelers in this one. I just don't see Blake Bortles having that good of a year, so I will take the Steelers at home over the Jags.
If the Jags follow the pattern they've followed so far, one great week, one terrible week, one great week, one terrible week, this week the pattern stops. They lose at Pittsburgh.
Next up, the 2-2 Baltimore Ravens head into Oakland Coliseum to take on the 2-2 Oakland Raiders. And here is my upset for the week. I'm going to take the road Ravens. No Derek Carr equals no victory for the Raiders. Give me the Ravens on the road.
Last year, after Carr went out, the Raiders just fell apart. I think they're going to fall apart again. I agree with you. I'm going to take the Ravens over the Raiders.
Next up, the Seattle Seahawks head into LA Coliseum to take on the surprising 3-1 Los Angeles Chargers. Give me the home Chargers and a heavy dose of Todd Gurley. Chargers win by at least 10.
I think what Scott meant is the Rams, which
Yes.
and I think the Rams are they beat the 49ers. They beat Seattle last year when Seattle was good. Seattle's not as good this year. I think the Rams win this one and they win it by 10 or more.
Next up, the 3-1 Green Bay Packers heading to Jerry's World and Dallas, Texas to take on the 2-2 Cowboys. Give me Aaron Rodgers and the Cheeseheads to get the win on Sunday over the over the Cowboys.
The Cowboys are just not as good this year. Their defense is not playing as well. Their offensive line is not blocking as well. I agree. I think the Packers go in and steal this one in a close one.
Next up, probably the game of the week, in my opinion, at NRG Stadium, the 4-0 Kansas City Chiefs head in to take on the 2-2 Houston Texans. I have both Kareem Hunt and Deshaun Watson starting for me this week, but I think Kareem Hunt and the Chiefs find a way to improve to 5-0 and continue their undefeated season.
I think this is going to be the upset of the week. I think the Texans are going to get this win. I think the Texans are trending up. I think the Chiefs are awfully good, but I think the Chiefs flip this week on the road against the Texans.
Next up, the 2-2 Vikings head into Soldier Field to take on the 1-3 Chicago Bears. Mitchell Trubisky is in this week. They have put Mike Glennon on the bench, and I think that could help that offense out a little bit. But I'm going to take. I still just don't think the Bears have enough offense. Give me the road Vikings by at least 10 points.
I agree that the Vikings are going to win this game. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be like a field goal type game, but I think the Vikings get it done on the road.
And that will do it for this episode of Scott's Weekend Sports today, ladies and gentlemen. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Leave a nice comment down below and subscribe if you are new to my channel. And I'll see you guys right back here next week on Scott's Weekend Sports. See you guys later.
So long.